In this video, I'm going to talk about a fearful belief that many intelligent women have, which is, I'm afraid my intelligence is going to turn men off. So maybe I'm too smart to attract my soulmate. We're going to talk about how this negative belief can make it much harder to find your soulmate, and then we're going to do some tapping together to help you release this belief so that you can finally attract your soulmate. Hi, my name is Stefan Gonick. I'm an expert EFT practitioner, trainer, and founder of the Soulmate Attraction Academy from singletosoulmate.me, and this is Love Talk Q&A. So, how does this belief come about? Well, for instance, I had a client who had told me about something that her mother said to her, and I quote, "You're too smart and you have to pretend to be dumb so that a man will be interested." So, now you may have heard something like that yourself. It may have been just something kind of cultural in your orbit where you sort of develop this belief. And the thing is, there actually are men like that. There are men who are turned off by intelligence in a woman, and there are men who are intimidated by intelligent women. You know, they want to feel a lot smarter than their partner. So those men do exist. But when you think about it, if you're an intelligent person, do you want to be with a man who's like that? Who either is turned off by intelligence in a woman or is intimidated by intelligence in a woman? Because the basic idea here is that people get this sort of fallacy around the idea of there being this amorphous group in the world of people who are of the male gender who are, quote, men. And that there are things that men like or men don't like, and women will try and fit themselves into these beliefs and what they think is what men either want or don't want. And the idea here is that, you know, dating and finding your soulmate can be very challenging, and it can bring up a lot of fears about whether or not, you know, you'll ever succeed. So lots of times people want to make things as likely as possible by trying to, like I say, mold themselves into what they think men as a group want. But here's the thing. There is no such thing as men. There are certainly lots of male people in the world, but there's no universal thing that all men want this or all men don't want that or whatever. Okay? When you think about it, if you try and mold yourself to fit into some general stereotype of what you think men do or don't want, that means you're going to hide the parts of yourselves that you think that men don't like, and you're going to try and pretend to be things that you think men do like. Neither of which is being yourself, right? What you're really wanting to do is not try and make yourself attractive or appealing to some general group of men. You want to be attractive and appealing to your soulmate, the person who's completely right for you. That person is going to love every single part of you, right? Everything that makes you you, including your intelligence, right? They're gonna want an intelligent partner, an intelligent woman. For instance, in my case, at one point I was in a relationship with this lovely, loving woman who was athletic and liked nature, and she had all sorts of wonderful qualities. But it was hard to have interesting and stimulating conversations with her. So I hate to say this, but I felt like I wanted somebody who was actually more intelligent. All right, so in my case, it's the opposite of this fearful generalization that men don't like women who are smart or are intimidated by women who are smart. I wanted a smart partner. My wife is a smart woman, right? So, you know, I'm a example against that stereotype, and there's lots of other men like that. So you don't want to let your fears of ever finding your soulmate make you try and change yourself into something else. Because if you do that, in addition to hiding certain parts of yourself and trying to be other parts of yourself, the only way to try and make yourself appealing in general is to become vanilla, like vanilla ice cream. Vanilla is a flavor that most people like. Nobody's excited by vanilla. It's like, it's fine, it's okay, vanilla, you know. It's good if you put some chocolate on it or something like that, you know, but it's not something anybody really likes. Your soulmate is not going to be looking for a vanilla partner. Your soulmate is going to be looking for, you know, fish food or something like that. Something really interesting that is you. Not something interesting you're trying to become, but something interesting that is who you already exactly are. So the goal is, instead of trying to make yourself something different, your goal is to try and be as much yourself as possible, because by doing that, it's going to make you more visible to your soulmate, right? If you're, for instance, if your soulmate, I mean, your soulmate is going to want an intelligent woman. That's just the reality of, your personal soulmate. But if you hide your intelligence, then he won't see you, right? If you hide who you are in any way, your intelligence or anything else about you, it'll make it harder for him to see you. So it can really interfere in a big way, for as far as finding your soulmate goes. So trying to hide your intelligence so as to not turn men off or not be threatening to them, and is going to actually make it much harder for your soulmate to find you and be visible to your soulmate. So it's going to give you the opposite result of what you're actually wanting, right? But as I said, this can be scary, right? Because finding our soulmate for lots of people can be really hard. So we're afraid of anything that might make it even harder. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some tapping to help you release this fear and get more comfortable showing your intelligence as well as everything else. So let's start right now. I'd like you to start tapping on your crotch point in the side of your hand and repeat after me. Now I'm going to use stronger language just to help bring the feelings out, because I'm going to say, even though I'm terrified that my intelligence will turn men off. You may not be terrified, but by using stronger adjectives, I find it helps bring whatever feelings are there out more fully. And the more fully you bring your feelings out, the better you can tap them away. That means the more thoroughly you'll clear them out. So I'm going to just use stronger language. So don't worry if it doesn't quite resonate with you. Just go along with it. All right, so let's start. Even though I am terrified that my intelligence will turn men off. I just go ahead and repeat that. Even though I'm terrified that my intelligence will turn men off. I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself anyway. I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself anyway. Now, I'm not going to keep repeating out loud. I'll just give you time to repeat it for yourself. Even though I'm terrified that my intelligence will intimidate men. I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself with kindness and compassion. Even though I'm scared to show my intelligence to men, I choose to be all of who I am so that my soulmate will see me more easily. All right, so let's start tapping all your points, top of the head. I'm afraid that my intelligence will turn men off. I'm afraid that it will intimidate some men. I'm afraid that my intelligence will make me less attractive. I'm afraid that I'm just too smart to find my man. I'm afraid that this is how men are. I'm afraid that men are turned off by smart women. And I'm afraid that men are intimidated by smart women. So I'm afraid to show my intelligence. I feel like I have to act dumb in order for a man to be interested in me. So I hold my intelligence back and hide it. But do I really want to be with a man like that? A man who doesn't like an intelligent woman. That means I would have to hide my intelligence forever. Because if we got together and I was hiding my intelligence, and then finally let my intelligence come out, I'll be like, uh-oh, I didn't mean to do that. And he'll be like, who are you? Do I really want to hide my intelligence for the rest of my life? Or do I want to be with a man who loves my intelligence? Yes, I want to be with a man who is turned on by my intelligence. I want to be with a man who thinks intelligence in a woman is sexy. I want to be with a man where we can have stimulating conversations. I want to be with a man who loves that I'm smart. I want to be with a man where we are a team and can solve problems and think about things together. I want to be with a man where we have an exciting connection in our brain, from our brains, in addition to our hearts. I want a man who's as smart as hell, and he loves that I'm as smart as hell. And I will settle for nothing less. I choose to be courageous and show my intelligence. In fact, I choose to show all parts of who I am, so that my soulmate will see me more easily. That's the best way for him to recognize me, is by showing all parts of who I am. Sure, there'll be men who don't like the things that they see. And those men are not my soulmate. I choose to stop being attractive to men as a group. I choose instead to be attractive to my soulmate. I only need to be attractive to him. The rest don't matter at all. I choose to hold out for my soulmate. I choose to show all of who I am so that he will see me and recognize me. I choose to courageously be myself in all ways, because my soulmate will love every part of who I am, even my quirks and idiosyncrasies, because all of who I am is beautiful. And it'll be particularly beautiful to my soulmate, just as he is particularly beautiful to me. I look forward to getting together with my soulmate and having an amazing relationship. Whew. All right, take a deep belly breath. So hopefully this tapping is going to help you feel less fearful about showing your intelligence as well as other parts of who you are, and feel more courageous and willing to stand out and shine like a beacon so that your soulmate can see you. Okay. So anyway, this fear is a common fear that a lot of women have, and fears like it, right? It can be intelligence or it can be any other trait that we have, right? So it's not just about being smart. It can be any other trait. So this does represent a common block, and it's really important to clear this out. So you may want to repeat this tapping a number of times so that you can really clear it out down to zero. We didn't measure it at the beginning, so you can measure how big this fear is at the beginning of the tapping, and at the end of the tapping, measure it again and see how much it came down, and keep doing it until you get all the way to zero, so that it's not holding you back at all anymore. All right. Now this is just one block that people can have. I have a free mini course on my website, asingletosoulmate.me, called The 3 Secrets to Attracting Amazing Love, that talks about 3 key blocks to being with our soulmate. And this particular block is actually one piece of one of those 3 blocks. So there's the rest of that block plus the other 2 blocks that you can learn about by getting this free mini course. And it talks about the 3 key blocks and how to break free of them so that you can clear everything in the way of being with your soulmate, so that you finally will be with your soulmate. So anyway, if you found this video helpful, it really helped me a lot and other people to find the video. If you just take a quick second to like the video. I invite you to subscribe to my channel to get my latest videos about EFT and finding your soulmate. So keep tapping, and I'll see you in the next episode of Love Talk Q&A.